HARO Backlinks. What are HARO links and how do you get? G'day guys, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to show you a comprehensive walkthrough of HARO links. I'm going to cover what they are, I'm going to explain how you can get them, and I'm going to show you how you can even purchase them if you need them to help give your website the extra lift. So let's jump into it. First of all, what is a HARO backlink? Well, essentially a HARO link is a link from authoritative website like a website like Forbes or Wall Street Journal, something that Google considers extremely authoritative that has journalists that you can pitch is a HARO link. Now, HARO is an abbreviation for help a reporter out. That's how it works. So essentially you'll jump on a site like this one behind me, and don't worry, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you get HARO backlinks, but you'll pitch to a journalist and say, hey, I'm an expert in this area. Why don't you quote me, or why don't you let me even write a story for you? And then you just give me a link back to your site. That's a HARO backlink. That's exactly what a HARO backlink is. Let me show you a couple examples of HARO links right now. So Asbestos Awareness Australia is a charity created by my friend Martin North. So unfortunately we lost his lovely wife Jill to mesothelioma, a cancer caused from being exposed to asbestos. So this is a charity that's been set up to help individuals, specifically in Australia, to actually get the word out there and say, hey, this asbestos stuff is dangerous. Now, we were fortunate enough to get some links across from awesome places. And this is a prime example of what a HARO link is. And guys, if you can donate to that charity, please do. Great cause, trying to make more awareness about how dangerous being exposed to asbestos is. So a little goes a long way. Sorry for the plug, but it's a worthwhile cause. Now, this is a prime example of a HARO link. So this is a Daily Mail. Everyone will know the Daily Mail. And here is Channel 9 News. So in Australia, very prompt, like one of the main things. It's like a CNN of America, essentially. All right. So it's a very, very prominent, well-known organization. Now, a HARO link, I am going to have to scroll down a little bit to get to one of the links. But if you'll see across here, you're going to see, if we scroll down a bit more, somewhere down here we go. Here's a link across to the website. So you'll see down in the breadcrumbs down the bottom there, that is actually going across to Asbestos Awareness Australia. That's a HARO link. Getting a link from the Daily Mail, that's a challenging endeavor for anyone. That is exactly what a HARO link example is. So why are HARO links so important? A HARO link is a link that is extremely hard to get. So getting this type of link is very, very challenging and very, very costly. These types of links are extremely powerful. They help with your EEAT, your EAT. Now, Google knows this, and there's even in Google's patents, it talks about essentially what pages it trusts. And the closer you are to those links, the more it's going to trust your website. So if you have links from these types of assets, Google's more likely going to sit there and be like, hey, they have these types of links. Ooh, they're very powerful. I trust them to talk on this topic. They look like an experienced and honest and trustworthy guy or girl that is talking about this topic. That's how Google views them. And in my personal opinion, the further we get down this path of AI, how is Google going to be able to distinguish who is the actual authority? When you're pumping out 150 pages a day on a topic compared to Joe Blogs, that is the real expert, he's only going to be able to create 1 or 2 pages a day. So who's the expert? Well, in Google's eyes, it might think these guys over here, but this guy's going to be the one that can get those links because he knows what he's talking about on that topic. That's why HARO links are so important, especially going forward. Every client I work with, these are the types of links that we're getting for them because we want them to have this power going forward because this is where SEO is going. So how do you build HARO backlinks? Let me show you how to do that. Now you're going to need to come over to this website, helpareporter.com. All right. So this is Sizen's website. This is the HARO. Even if you Google HARO, help a reporter out, you'll be able to find this. All right. So what you'll need to do is simply sign up as a source. Unless you're a journalist watching this, then hey, pitch me. But if you're a source, which is what you'll be, you're trying to get some links, this is what you're going to create. Now, there are going to be two options. There's a paid option and there's the free option. If you don't have the bank, sign up for the free option. You're still going to receive a lot of emails. It's just not going to be as many proposals for you. All right. So you're not going to see as much data as you could if it's a free option, but that's entirely, up to you and how it works. So once you sign up for this, it's very, very easy to sign up. Make sure you sign up in the niche specific. What's going to happen is you're going to start to receive emails like this. So you'll see here, biotech and healthcare. I've written a blog on, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but oncologist to comment on taking supplements for cancer. Here we go. So this is the type of biotech healthcare thing that a journalist has reached out and said, hey, I need an oncologist to talk about supplements, make a comment on how that might impact. So as you scroll down here, we've got the category, we've got the name of the individual, we've got the media outlet that's reaching out for comment, the deadline of the time that you would need to respond by, the query. How can someone tell if something is FDA approved for cancer? So what you would need to do as, let's just say in this situation of trying to get a HARO backlink, you're sitting there and you're looking at this and going, okay, HARO backlink, how do I build this? Well, what you're going to need to do is respond to these queries here. And you would need to be an oncologist. They're specifically asking for an oncologist. If you're not an oncologist or your client isn't an oncologist, leave it alone. There's no point in trying to get a link for this. It's just not going to happen. So that's how HARO works. That's how you can get a HARO backlink. You need to pitch and have a look at all of that list. Like you saw, it's a big, big list. Let me just jump back up the top. So you can start going through and having a look at all of this. You can start to see like a successful entrepreneur, medium wealth. All right. Seeking expert to comment on current US economic outlook, HR. So all of these types of things is where you can have a look. Education, there's always a lot more for business and general types of things. There'll be a wide range. But again, you can select the type of niche that you want to go after when you're trying to build a HARO backlink. So now you should understand what a HARO backlink is, how you can build a HARO backlink. Let me give you some HARO backlink building tips and where you can even buy HARO backlinks from. Let's jump into it. Now, when it comes to building HARO backlinks, I can't stress this enough, guys. Don't spam the journalists. So if you're not an authority on that space, as an example, back to the oncologist one, if you're not an oncologist or you don't have a client that's an oncologist, don't waste your time sending the email. You're going to get donuts. Now, the average ratio we find where we're at now with reaching out to journalists, it's one link to every 130 inquiries sent. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to pitch these journalists. So now, you need to think, is that worth it for you? That's a couple of days' work. Responding, talking back, maybe getting on the phone with them, saying, hey, yes, this is my client. We're a bit of an authority here. You've got to think about all that. That's a big thing when it comes to building HARO backlinks. You need to have an authority on the space. Something that jerks me wrong a little bit, I see big figures, especially in my space, where like, go out there and get HARO links. It's going to make your business. It's very hard to get HARO backlinks if you aren't already an authority in that space or have a reason to be a semi-authority in that space. It's very easy for the big shots in my world to just write to a journalist, even me, and say, hey, this is what's going on. Give me a link. Gets a bit easier. So you need to understand that that's the game you're playing. If you're going to have something that's a powerful website, it's a lot easier to link across to you. So how do you create a powerful website? If you're just the average Joe, the average law firm, the average, let's just say dentist, how do you stand out? How do you get a journalist to link to you? This is what I do. And this is one of our big secrets, but I'll give it to you because you've watched this video this far and I'm sure you've liked and subscribed. So I'll give you this tip right now. Create a piece of content that specifically can help you stand out that no one's really touched in your niche. All right. So create something that's a bit different, a bit unique. So you could create, as an example, if you're a law firm, do a data study on something, pay a couple of $1,000s. I know it might seem like a lot, but invest a couple of $1,000s into a data study. All right. As an example, maybe you're a divorce attorney. It's like, well, what are you finding? Go back through the history of your clientele and have a look. It's like, what was the main reason for the divorce? So let's just say Fort Lauderdale. So as an example, I'm dealing with a divorce attorney in Fort Lauderdale. What they could do, go back through their client book, engage all of those clients, ask what was the main reason for the separation. And then they could create a story. They could create an actual piece of content saying, well, in Fort Lauderdale, the main reason for divorces are these. Here's the top list here. This is what we found. It's actually not money in Fort Lauderdale. We find that its partners are just disconnected. There's a lot of businessmen. They're away a lot of the time. That is a great piece of content that you can create that will help journalists sit there and be like, wow, that's an interesting piece of content, especially anyone that's talking about the Fort Lauderdale area. The Miami Herald could even pick that. These types of things are how you can get HARO links. That's a great tip. Another tip is do not spam the journalists, guys. Like, if you are not able to sit there and confidently be like, can I build this HARO backlink with this journalist? Is this HARO link going to get, positioned to me? Am I the real authority here? If your answer is probably not, don't send the email. You will get burnt. They'll just blacklist you. And once you're blacklisted, you'll never get a list. That opportunity that might arise from you, you'll be like, I can win this link easily. I've got exactly what they're looking for. But yesterday you sent in a silly email. You used AI to send in a silly email. You're blacklisted. You've missed out on that opportunity. So when you're trying to build HARO backlinks, make sure that you do not spam the journalist. Something very, very important. Now, when you are building these types of backlinks, HARO backlinks specifically, prepare to send a ton of emails, and don't get disheartened if it doesn't work out initially, because that's just HARO link building, guys. There is no guarantee with this stuff. You can come to me today, and I have a surprise to show you shortly. You can come to me today and say, Ronnie, I want this type of link, and I can go and get that for you. With HARO, don't expect something to be up within 30 days, 60 days. It can take a long time. You can get this link, right? And this is how it works even with us. There's been a link created. It's been 3 months in curation to be able to get that publication out. But it's a serious publication. It takes time, guys. HARO link building is something that takes a lot of work, and that's why it costs a lot of money. So as an example, let me show you how much Loganix, these guys here, they are very, very expensive, but let me just show you how much they're charging for HARO backlinks. I don't know if you can see this, but if you look up here, it's a bit bigger. This is for 5 HARO backlinks. Look at what they're charging. $4,250. So if you want to buy HARO backlinks, look at this. That's what you're paying. What's that? $804.50 a link. Wow. It didn't cost us $850 to get these links. So where can you get HARO links for cheaper? Well, why don't you come over to the newly formed Osborne Digital Marketing Store, where you can buy HARO links for $397. But if you buy more than 3, instead of getting charged the same amount, you'll get a 15% discount. So if you need to buy HARO backlinks, if you want that type of power, if you want that type of authority, if you want these types of awesome links. Now with our HARO link building services, we guarantee a no link, no fee, and anything under 40, no payment is required. And if they don't link to your website, you don't pay. A lot of the time you're going to find that journalists will actually link to your LinkedIn profile. Have a look at my LinkedIn. You're going to see some crazy things like Dropbox and all that sort of stuff. It's just how they do it. Sometimes you cannot tell these journalists to use this specific anchor text and use it. It doesn't work that way, guys. So there's some tips that you need to think about when it comes to HARO links. You're not always going to get these mentions. Now, another big thing with HARO link building is make sure that you're not pushing it to something that you can't show that you're the authority on. So as an example, back with Asbestos Awareness Australia, those HARO links are very powerful because we're covering a topic, we've got an authority, we've got everything we answer for. It's a real charity, like everything is real. If you try to build HARO links to an affiliate site, that's incredibly challenging. So as an example, let's just say you hired us to build your HARO backlinks. If you don't have a LinkedIn page, if you don't have a Twitter, if you don't have anything like that as a minimum, we cannot build those backlinks for you. We need to be able to sit here and say, here is the owner of this company. Here is the expert on this topic. This is why you should be able to link to them. Then we can build you a HARO backlink. So if you're interested in HARO backlink services, make sure you click the link down below. And for you guys, see the little coupon here? Let's go Aussie. That coupon's going to be put down below. You also get an additional 10% off if you use that. That is going to be for a limited time only. So, go ahead, get some HARO backlinks. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. I hope I have answered the question of HARO backlinks. What are HARO links and how to get them? You should know how to get them now. You should know how to go about it. You should know how to buy them. Now, guys, like I said, don't pay exorbitant fees for HARO links. There's going to be people out there that will try and charge you $800 to $500 is generally the window. You don't need to pay those prices. Make sure that you're not getting scammed too and getting PBNs that are just juiced up. Make sure you check off HARO. Make sure that you are signing up in a real way. If they're not asking for your LinkedIn, if they're not asking for an email, if they're not asking for those big type of things, it's be careful. With us, you need to set up an email for us. With us, you need to have a LinkedIn. With us, you need to have a Twitter. You need to have something, like I said before, with the data. That is how we build HARO links. Now, make sure you like and subscribe. Use that coupon. The link to buy your own HARO links will be down below, and I look forward to seeing you around. Cheers, guys.